I'm Devi Bala, and I'm the Associate Dean for Business Services Department, and we are in the Hohokam building on the second floor. And this is Bethlen Mosley, and we'll try our best to keep it short and simple slides, but I'm not necessarily going to follow the slides. So basically, I'm starting with our mission. What do we do? What do we in business services? As you know, business services, yes, it's money, it's acquiring quality goods and services at competitive prices, providing responsible services for improving accounting and financial services. And in addition, we support the mission and vision and goals of the college to ensure that these resources are effectively utilized. And so what are the various functions that we do? Well, primarily we have budget management, cashier services, and I'm sure my counterpart, Sally Flores, is going to be talking to you later in the afternoon today. And we have payroll processing, which is also part of business services. Then we have centralized purchasing and receiving, employee travel, which is a major function of the business services department, property control, management and reporting, P-card transactions, which is like the credit card for the college, which is the P-card. And also another important function is to interpret and communicate business policy and procedures through application of professional accounting standards, and to make sure that we follow that, and of course, our stewardship principles. And the budget process, I'm not going to go through the detail, but I want to take some time and emphasize some numbers and values here. How do we get our money? So it's our general fund or the operating fund, which is the Fund 1 budget, which is our resources from property taxes, tuition and fees. And then we have Fund 2, like our cafe, which is our auxiliary fund, bookstore revenues, cafe revenues. So we have these two different, Fund 1, Fund 2, and then we have what is called Fund 3, which is our grant fund, which is more restricted because we have to follow some of the federal and state regulations and also the grantor stipulations of how that fund needs to be managed. So we have three funds, Fund 1, 2, 3. So then you're going to tell me you're missing something here, which is not on the slide probably, is capital. How do we acquire buildings? How do we construct? Where do we get the monies? That's called Fund 7, and that's our capital fund, in addition to Fund 1, 2, 3, and then we have 7. So the next slide would be the budget building process. I'm not going to go over the detail on this slide at all, but I just want to tell you it is a very complex and streamlined process, though. There are various steps to it. We start well ahead of the game, sometime in September, October, for the next year's budget. And this chart is mainly to just highlight the various steps that the process goes through before the budget gets evolved and approved by the governing board. That's our budget development process. And I'm going to go over some of the other functions that the Business Services Department plays. We process adjunct faculty payroll contracts. And this is part-time assignments, adjunct faculty contracts, and our department serves as the primary source for processing these contracts. I wanted to throw in some statistics, and we processed over 8,000 special services assignments. They are called special services assignments or contracts. They're one and the same. And for adjunct faculty that teach our online classes, and we processed over 8,000 last year. So you can imagine the volume of transactions that go through the Business Services Department. This is one major function, which is part of the payroll function of our department. Then we are the one-stop shop for all the purchasing needs of our college. Whether it is in-house here in Tempe or at an off-site location, we are a centralized procurement center, as you may call it. and we processed over 2,380 purchase orders for a total amount of $21,721,000. So you can imagine the volume of transactions that go through. And I've just listed as one of the vendors. We also have Office Max. That's just one of our vendors. So how do we look at that? We select our vendors based on a district process that goes through. It's a district-wide process for all the colleges. And that's how our vendors are selected. And that was just one of the processes that I thought I would just highlight in there. The other important piece is travel assistance. Now, our department processes employee travel claims. So if you are going to be traveling on behalf of Maricopa or conducting business for Rio Salado College, then you come to us, and there's some details listed here which I would like to really go through. The traveler must complete the travel acknowledgement form before you undertake any travel, whether in-county or out of state, for Rio Salado College. And we will help you go through that acknowledgement process. Then an authorization form needs to be filled out that details where you're traveling, how many days, purpose, and the amount, and so on and so forth. And prior to any expense, you cannot purchase, say, I cannot purchase an air ticket and then say, okay, by the way, I bought this ticket because it was $200 cheaper to buy it today, and then process the travel authorization. No. Authorization precedes any expense incurred for that travel, which is critical.
Very critical.
After the travel is completed, the reimbursement request to business services must be submitted within 30 days. That's another thing. I cannot sit on my receipts as a traveler. I'll have to go back after I've completed the travel to say, I need this money, but that has to be timely submitted to business services in a timely manner within 30 days. And in 2012, we processed over 555 claims, including in-state and out-of-state travel. And I'm talking of travel for our employees and travel for Rio Salado employees, just our college. So just to give you an idea of that. And I'm going to quickly go through property control management. That's another important aspect where we recognize and report. We are required to recognize and report depreciation for capital assets based on GASB, which is the Governmental Accounting Standards Board regulations. So we are required to comply with that. And we maintain and record capitalization and stewardship thresholds. So what is our threshold? Our stewardship threshold is $2,500 for capital assets and equipment. What does that mean? If an item that a department wants to purchase is under $2,500, then my department has the authority to issue that purchase order. So if the equipment or a piece of item costs over $2,500, then we cannot, at business services at Rio, issue that purchase order. It goes to our district office, which acts as our central agency for approving purchase orders greater than $2,500. So we have a district purchasing centralized body that handles those types of requests. So our stewardship ends at $2,500. So our capitalization threshold requires that assets greater than $5,000 be capitalized and depreciated. So for all unit cost, which is a particular piece of equipment which is greater than $5,000, needs to be tagged, depreciated, capitalized, so it's treated differently, it's coded that way so we can track the asset for depreciation purposes. Next, P-card monitoring and reconciliation. The P-card is like a credit card, but of course it is the business credit card. It is a tool designed to provide an efficient way to purchase business-related goods, and that's why I added the word there. It is for official use only, and serves as an alternative to purchasing process. So if it's a small, say it's a very small event that's being organized and you need some supplies, so we do not have to go through the entire procurement process where you request a requisition and then the PO is issued and then the vendor is contacted and the goods are supplied. Instead, we can go online and use the P card and purchase the goods. Again, it has to be within the thresholds, which is $2,500. That's our stewardship threshold. So the item can be purchased. It's restrictive. It's for goods only. So I could not get or professional services using the P card, for example. So it has to be, or say one of our cars, one of our Rio vehicles needs a repair, needs an urgent service. I couldn't just take it to the shop for service and use the college's P card because it's a service, it's not delivery of goods. For the service, a separate purchase order, which is a standing maintenance blanket purchase order, needs to be created that can be used as and when routine repair or maintenance is required. So it's just how our resources are monitored, tracked, and accounted for. In 2012, we have about 50 users, authorized users at Rio, and we had over 2,800 transactions for a total volume of $773,000. So that little over $773 on the P card.
They're using that card.
So I tried to keep my presentation short and simple. And our department leads are myself, Anthony Discala, who's our principal budget analyst, Sally Flores, who is our manager for the cashier services, and I think the cashier services is coming in later in the afternoon. They're going to do a separate presentation, so I'm not going over that detail with you. And then Rose Smith, who's our coordinator that coordinates. And we have Bethlyn, who has graciously accepted to help me today, this afternoon. And
Rose is out sick.
Yeah, Rose is out sick today. And it's open for any questions. Feel free. Anything that you would like to ask? I'm not sure if we've done our 10 minutes or...
I just want to add one thing about customer service, because that's one of the things we always look at when we look at individual apartments. And wellness works very closely with business services. And one thing I will tell you, if you're in an area where you have to constantly look at budgets and those things, these ladies are always there for you. You can go up, and I recommend that. Sometimes email gets a little bit precarious because you're maybe not communicating about the same thing, but they always have an open door policy up there. And so I just want to let you know, I appreciate that. And for any of you that need help with that or resources, they are great about offering that service.
Thank you, Cookie. Thank you. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email or come see us. Sometimes, yes, not all answers are replied with a yes, but we definitely try to do our best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Downtown is part of the emerging Department of Community Development, which has been getting its momentum up for the last maybe 3 years. Community development encompasses all of the off-site locations where Rio Salado has run programs, primarily adult-based education, but also in places such as Surprise, the Lifelong Learning Center. They have a very, very vibrant and active retirement community out there. The 6 locations, as you can see, are Rio Salado at Avondale, Rio Salado Lifelong Learning Center, that's in Surprise, Rio Salado at Northern. Northern is also a newer location. We bought that property, I believe, with bond money a couple of years ago. Rio East Valley, which is the existing location in a little strip mall on Stapley Drive out in Mesa, but that's moving soon to a new property that we purchased on Southern and Price, right? Yes. And Rio Salado at Thomas is the location that just opened most recently on 35th Avenue in Thomas. And Rio Salado Downtown had its grand opening this last spring in April. and it replaced an older facility. If you come downtown to 7th Avenue between Roosevelt and Van Buren on the fashionable fringes of downtown Phoenix, you can still see those older buildings where we were housed before, and they're being redone now, and I'll tell you why in a moment. What we do downtown, one of the biggest things we do is adult basic education. That whole model is also being transformed now into something called the Star Path model, and you'll hear more about that later, but it's how we deliver our services, our educational services to special populations. But we still have a very vibrant adult basic ed program. We offer pre-GED classes, GED preparation classes, ELA, which used to be called ESL, used to be called ESL. ELA is English Language Acquisition for Adults. We have pre-lit ELA for people that have some literacy challenges in their own language. And then we have a wonderful Reading Foundations class for adults that have never learned to read. And that's a very moving experience to go in there and see some of those students and how empowered they become. It's also, Rio Salado Downtown is also home to something very near and dear to my heart. We have our very successful college bridging programs down there. The biggest one is Adult ACE. ACE stands for Achieving a College Education. ACE is a district-wide program, and the difference being that at the other colleges, these services are for high school students. It's an early outreach high school program, but we decided to modify that and offer that to our GED students for whom, that's a population for whom not a lot of opportunities for scholarships and post-secondary education and training. There's not a lot of that for them. The ACE program built on an existing program called ABE Transition, which got started back in 1999. And that was a very successful program whereby we channeled ABE students to our sister colleges and to Rio to give them an opportunity to explore post-secondary education. We also have a lot of fun things that are, some of them are volunteer run at our location. We have an intercambio conversation group, which is Spanish and English speakers that come together. We have people that come from out of our community and students from our classrooms, employees, and they get together and they do a language exchange in Spanish and English, which is a lot of fun. We also have one of our employees that hosts an English language conversation club. And then we also have advisement, counseling, and tutoring, which started out as being services offered to our adult ACE students, but now they are offered to any student that comes to take any kind of class in our facility. So these, it's a little bit of a given on who we're offering these services to, but I'll just go over this with you. I think if you work at the main campus in Tempe, you forget sometimes of the great diversity of students out there. We have a lot of immigrants, refugees, and political asylum seekers in our ELA classes. We have students who have not completed high school due to a number of reasons. Not all of them are negative, but some of the common ones are learning disabilities. That's very big, and they haven't been able to get that properly documented so that they can get other services. So they come to us to complete their GED. Early parenthood, we have some quite young parents that come, and for a number of reasons, of course. Family responsibilities, work, they've not been able to complete their high school education. Family hardship, cultural pressures. In some cultures, education comes second to family needs. And then we also do have some drop-in for-credit students. As these locations have become more visible in the communities, Rio students that take online classes here start to learn, oh, wow, there's a location right here in my neighborhood. I don't have to go all the way to Tempe to get the services. We're also very proud that we have this beautiful, beautiful new building. It's Rio Salado's Sustainability Showcase. So I invite you to come down and see some of the very cool features. It was designed specifically in mind to achieve LEED certification, which is a kind of, how would you call that? LEED is, thank you. Oh, we've got the perfect person here to say that. Leadership in environmental and engineering design. So we have some really wonderful things down there. My favorite is this permeable paving, which if you throw a bucket of water on it, you can actually hear it go and pull that water down to avoid puddles. And It's all recycled. So lots of interesting things. And because we have this beautiful new building, people from Tempe and other groups have learned that we're there, and we have a really nice meeting room, and we have a great community room down there too that's available. So we have hosted, in our very short time since the building opened last January, the City of Phoenix, Central Village Planning Committee has used our facility, the Department of Education, the Seroptimists, Arizona Hope Worldwide, Arizona Town Hall, and a little public relations firm that's down the street from us. So it's very exciting to see the location being fully utilized. This is just a slide that shows some of our wonderful students. These are students, for the most part, in our Adult Basic Ed program, and some of them are participating in our ACE, Adults Achieving a College Education program. And you can see some of the diversity there. That middle group photo is a very exciting event that happens for our adult students called the Adult Education Honor Society. And we have a celebration every year where students are recognized for their achievements. This is a photo of our beautiful new lobby, which is got wonderful stonework, which was regionally or locally quarried. And we've also become very popular with some of the internal Rio groups. Most recently, we've had an all-day academic affairs dean's retreat down there a couple weeks ago. We have a lot of construction going on at these locations, and so the construction team often meets down there. The teacher education master teacher seminars use our community room. Employee services has had meetings down there. And sometimes people just show up. Our VP for technology showed up, Ed Kelty, with his team one day. And it's very nice to see that location being fully utilized, as I said. So some of the programs that we're really proud of downtown are, of course, the core Adult Basic Education program, the initial ABE transition program, and Adult ACE. Again, those programs are housed there. We also have a very vibrant workplace program, and that's whereby our site coordinator, Kate Packer, at this location goes out and creates good partnerships with community members, and we offer our GED and our ELA classes at community locations. It's also, we're not done at that location. It's the future home of a couple of green schoolhouses that we're in partnership with a nonprofit organization called Brighten a Life. And right now, we have a green learning lab that is being sort of fashioned out of one of our former buildings on the south end of our lot. When those buildings are up and running, we are going to be in a partnership with Phoenix Union High School District, whereby selected students will be channeled to our location to finish up their high school education with focus on green jobs. The people that are responsible for this location, again, downtown is part of the department called Community Development. And in Community Development, there are 4 directors, and they each are over 2 of our off-site locations. Our location, the director is Elizabeth Cole-Fay, who is housed at the northern location. And then I'm the assistant director with shared oversight for the facility downtown. We also have Kate Packer, who's our site coordinator that handles all issues about operations at the facility. And John McLeod is our instructional specialist over everything adult basic education. We've got lots of stories, lots of rewarding stories about how we astonish our customers downtown. This one, we get this all the time. A teacher after one of our events, this was after our Adult Education Honor Society Rewards Ceremony. One of the teachers had written to us how moving it was and how special it was to see the total transformation in one of our students, Josh Jaramillo, who was very withdrawn, expressionless when he came into our program, but worked very, very hard and was recognized at this ceremony. So his family and Josh himself were really, they found that to be such a rewarding experience. And we deal with that. That's our big reward working with these populations. It's really, really very special. And that's just some of the crew in our downtown location against the backdrop of our beautiful quarried sandstone wall. So I hope you come down. Again, we're on the fashionable fringes of downtown Phoenix between Roosevelt and Van Buren on 7th Avenue. And there's an exit right there if you take the 202 and it merges into the 10. We're the 7th Avenue exit. So if you come down there, come and visit me, and I'd be happy to give you a little tour and let you know about some of the really cool sustainable features in that building. Thanks very much. Any questions? Okay, good. I hope you come and visit us soon. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Freed, and I work in institutional advancement, and I'm the Assistant Director of Marketing there. And we're just going to give a little introduction on what we do in IA. Basically, this is a really long sentence to say that we communicate. And we communicate internally, and we communicate externally. And that's really fancy. A really fancy way to say that, and that's on our website too. We recruit students and enhance our public image through all of these ways. We do it by advertising, very traditional advertising, like print advertising, but we also do things like guerrilla marketing, where we have like stickers on the floor, that type of thing. We have ladders set up. You've probably seen the Blue Ladder campaign. And we offer free Wi-Fi at places, things like that. So we also are in charge of the copy center. So if you ever need copies made, we'll definitely point you in the right direction a little bit later on where to get that done. We're also involved very heavily with enrollment management, getting students in and enrolled, and how that works. Graphic design is another large part of our job, and that's things like flyers, signs, PowerPoints, items like that. We also have the Outreach Center, is where we actually do our outbound calling to students, and we'll talk about that a little bit later with Mary Beth is in charge of that. We also do media relations, and that's all of our social media, press releases, that type of thing. And then we also do actually recruiting in our Outreach Center. And also we have a recruiter who goes out to events and represents Rio a lot. And then we also are in charge of the public-facing website and any other website that we might have a partner with. For instance, NCU and our teacher department. Trying to think of another one we've done. Oh, our communiversity, where we're a host. We take care of all those websites as well. So what we do, one of the main things we do is institutional branding, and that really is making sure that our brand, which is just more than our logo, it's every touch point that a student or a customer comes into contact with Rio Salado College to make sure that that brand stays consistent and professional throughout. The other thing we do is we do a theme and execution about. It used to be every year, but now it's like every 3 years. And that's usually our branding or campaign. And this year it's Take the Next Step. And hopefully you've seen the blue ladders, people climbing on the ladders, reaching education within reach, that type of thing. So we'll come up with that concept. We'll give it to our graphic designers. They come up with all the designs, and then we disseminate it. Our customers, everyone in this room, all of our partners, all the departments, all the locations, and students. So in saying that, if you want something from IA, plan ahead. We can't do things within 2 days, so give us 2 weeks, give us a couple months, and I'll tell you how to actually ask for something if you are in a position who needs to ask for something from IA. Just remember that we help everyone in the college as well as outside vendors. So it does take us a while. Not as long as IS, but is there any IS people in here? Sorry. We're getting there, though. Where we are located, we're on the 6th floor of the tower, and I don't know if you can see that, but the copy center is, I think, do you get a copy of this PowerPoint on the SharePoint site? No? Okay. So, and then we're on the southwest corner, I do believe. So that's where you'll find us. And this is all the contact information. Again, I thought you were going to get this PowerPoint, so you will eventually, as Carol said. So that's That's where you go to get the information. We'll talk a little bit later. We'll introduce everyone. So who are we? I mean, we're fun, as you can see from this picture. This is we have a department meeting every month. In the first half of it, we go over updates, those kind of things. But then in the second half, we always have a pretty fun activity, and someone always brings dessert. So that's always nice. And that's the blue ladder, that you should be seeing everywhere. So this is my boss, and it is National Bosses Day, in case you haven't heard that. This is Kevin Builder. He's the Associate Dean of Enrollment Management and Advancement. He reports directly to Keisha, the Vice President of Student Affairs. He's also a member of the Student Affairs and Advancement leadership team, and that's really that enrollment management process that I was talking about last in one of the older slides. And he's also chair of graduation committee. And he's really busy, so if you do need something, don't contact him. We'll tell you who to contact. And then this is Mary Beth All. She's our outreach manager. She takes care of all our outbound calls. Some people may not know that we actually do this. So we have auto drops for our students that happen, I think, a week after if they don't take their syllabus quiz. Her team will actually call those students and let them know, hey, you're going to be auto dropped, or hey, you were auto dropped, can you get back in? So we do a lot of outbound callings, so we have some retention. But she also does recruitments. We do recruitment emails, email blast. She is in charge of our phones in our department, and she does a lot of the CRM issues with putting in customer relations management. This is Delyn Bodine. She's our PIO and PR manager. If you see the wave come out on the email, she's in charge of that. She's in charge of Current Magazine. She is over our social media, which has increased, I think, by over 200% in the last year. She's in charge of all the press releases and copywriting. So if a newspaper reporter calls, she's the one who gets to take the call. I'm so glad I don't have her job. And this is Eddie Calderon. He's our web manager on our website. Our public website gets about 1 million page views a month. It has over 1,500 pages, so he's busy. Again, that's why things take long. So if you want something or need something, give us some advance. He also does the Communiversity website, and he also does our landing pages. In all of our advertising, we actually have one model, and all of our advertising goes to one single place. If it's a print ad, we have a specific web URM on there, so we know where it's coming from. If it's a web banner coming in, if it's a phone call, it all goes to one landing page, then we track that landing page. So we know how many students are coming in for, say, accounting, and we know they're coming in from an Arizona Republic ad that cost us, $6,000 to place that ad. So then we can look back and we can say, at this amount of time, for that, when that ad ran in that week, we got this many phone calls, here's our return on investment. And then we can judge when we plan out that next year, was Arizona Republic successful or not? And then that's how we place our advertising. Where's that guy's hair? Okay, this is me. Basically, my job is to assist Kevin in any college initiatives that he throws my way. I also manage the graphic design, the media or advertising, and the web teams, which is really fun because graphic designers are a lot different than web designers or programmers. Programmers are like, just give me the functional specs and I'll build it and leave me alone. And graphic designers are like, I just don't have the muse today, to do that ad. Do the ad. It's not an art project. But they're super fun. And then I'm also the Real Learn Portal co-chair. This is Natalie Meyer. She is, that's right. She is our advertising manager and media buyer, And she has a really fun job because her job all day is to shop and buy things. She buys all of our print ads, all of our outdoor billboards. She buys all of our radio advertising, all of our web advertising, and all of our, so that's all of the media buying. So if you like to shop, you want to be a media buyer. This is Sonia Reese. She's our front office coordinator. If you need anything in our department, this is who you go to. She knows everything. She knows more than all of us put together. She handles all the travel. She handles the budgets. She handles all the events. If you want doodads or trinkets, Sonia's your girl. And I should say, is she the last one? Okay, no, Shun. Shun is in charge of all of our graphic designers. So he's the project manager of the graphic designers. Very soft-spoken, but he gets the job done, and you'll be happy. But again, he needs time to do that, so give him the time. So if you have an ad that you need placed, say you're going to a conference and you get an ad in that bulletin or that program, he's the guy you talk to. If you have a photography request, he is the guy you talk to. Gordon Fong would probably take the picture, but Shun needs to schedule it. If you need a flyer, brochure, or signs, Shun's your guy. And I should mention that, everyone except for Joy, to request something from our department, you use the help desk system for right now. And you go into institutional advancement or IA, and then you can select either copywriting, graphic design, web design, and then you can select, and that will get to that person that I just showed you. Except for Joy, if you have, you can just email the copy center if you need something copied. And she does like course materials, she does all our business cards. They do binding up there, and they also order and distribute all the paper for all the locations in each building. And we were asked to show a customer astonishment story. So with some of the advertising that we do a lot of things with radio, and we partner with 99.9 for excellence in education, and that's where we go out and someone sends us a story about a great teacher. So we'll go out and give that teacher an award. I think they get $100, $99. And then they get to go to a really nice dinner at the end of the year at Capitol Grill with all the other really good teachers. And then they get $900. So, but it's really cool. Most of the time they have no idea it's coming because it's a student who nominated them. And it's just a really great thing that we do. I don't know. Let's see if it works. It does work.
We're going to go meet Ms. Sherry Anton and present her with our Excellence in Education Award, and you get to come along. Come on. Here we go. Excuse me. I'm looking for Sherry Anton. Can anybody kind of point me at who might be? Would that be you?
Mercy, I am. How are you?
Hi, well, look at that. I'm Marty Manning from 99.9 KEZ, and along with Rio Salado College, every month we select a very excellent teacher for our Excellence in Education Award. And we got a very nice letter from Bryce Hustad, and he says Ms. Anton should be the Excellence in Education Award winner because she's that teacher you will remember always. He said, I really like that she loves being a teacher. She's passionate about teaching. She makes us excited about learning. He also says that you are kind in heart, very upbeat, funny and outgoing. I can attest to that. And that she has a very close bond with her students. Is that right? Yes. Yes, of course. Learning is a wonderful and entertaining experience for all of us. She keeps us engaged and encourages us to question and dig deeper. He goes on, but he says, at the end of the day, I know she cares about me and how well I do, and knows if I am successful, so is she.
Have mercy.
Well, we think that's pretty terrific. So, Sherry Anton, you are our Excellence in Education Award winner from 99.9 KEZ and Rio Salado College. And look, we have a little award for you. There you go. This is Delynn Bodine from Rio Salado College. Delynn, would you like to say something?
Yeah, we actually have this beautiful plaque for you as well as a check for $99. Congratulations.
Oh, have mercy. My daughter's going, Mom, when are you buying groceries? I'm so excited. Thank you.
Well, there you are. You have that. And we also are going to invite you and the principal to join us at the Capitol Grill for a beautiful lunch at the end of the school year. And you will be eligible to win our Excellence in Education Award for the entire year, which also comes with a check for $999.
That goes to the kids.
Oh, there you go. Well, let's hear it for Sherry Anton, an excellent teacher. And those of you watching, I'll remind you, you can nominate your favorite teacher at kez999.com. Just use the key.
So that's our little customer astonishment thing. We do that every month, and usually the teachers are just, they're just overwhelmed. And they love it. So that's IA. Do you have any questions? Well, all right.
So as you know, Sally is our manager who is supposed to be talking today. She's not here. So I get to be the fill-in. Cashiers can be your friend or your enemy, depending upon what side of the bar you are on. If we have your paycheck or reimbursement check, we'll be your friend. If you owe us money, we could be your enemy. Basically, this is who we are, and I should have put numbers on all of them. When in doubt, just look up Sally Floors, and she'll get you the answer you're looking for. Who we serve, we basically, internal, external customers, basically anybody in contact with Rio Salado College, basically filters at one point or time through the cashiers. We, depending upon whether it's tuition waivers, students, faculty, staff, we do a variety of things, too many things to really list, even though we do have a list. Basically, and our hours are posted here, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 7, Fridays, 8 to 5, and we are open Saturdays, 8 to 2. You can call us, you can chat with us, you can email us to any one of those folks on the previous, and we are getting slides.
Eventually,
Eventually.
make the PowerPoints.
And that way you have contact information. Oh, I guess I need to turn this up on, huh? Thank you. Shall I go back? No. Excellent. Okay. And as I said, what we do, we basically accept payments for tuition and fees. That's by credit card, cash, check, cashier's check, money orders, any form of payment we take. We can take credit cards over the phone, but we can't take checks over the phone. Something that is a good point for the students is they can do check online, though, as well as set up payment plans for tuition. All those items are available, and if there's any questions, they can contact the cashier's office. We review all the financial aid that is processed. Basically, if there's any issues, it gets held up in our office. We don't disperse it and we don't apply it to the student's account, but we can see when it goes out, if there's a holdup, possibly what the problem could be. So we're there for the students for that. We do the refunds. We do departmental receipts. So any monies that come into departments to put back into their accounts, we process that and make sure you get your money deposited to the right account. We process all our third parties, so students that come in from different companies, DES, Department of Education, varied, City of Phoenix, City of Tempe, they send their employees to us for tuition. Basically, they send us their information, their letter. We turn around and we produce bills and we accept payments. And I wish I had numbers for you, but it's in the hundreds and thousands that we process every month. Let's see, what else? Petty cash. If you're an employee, basically any small petty cash purchases, you come and get the cash from us, you get the petty cash. And the approval from the business office, you come to the cashiers and we'll give you the money. Release payroll checks, we post transcripts, book charges, basically anything to do with the student accounts. Like I said, cashiers is involved in that. We do the debt collections, military programs. The list goes on and on and on. If you want to know what else we do that's not listed here, feel free to call us. And let's continue what we do. We do, right now, currently, we do a weekly enrollment cancellation, or purge as it was formerly known. Basically for all students who do not pay for their registration or their tuition, every Wednesday they get dropped for non-payment. They can get re-enrolled or extend their due date. Registration would be the ones they want to talk to and make sure that that happens. Basically, we send emails, phone calls, and twice a week we run calls that tell them ahead of time that you're going to get dropped. That way they can call us and make arrangements, payment arrangements. Pretty much that. Post-purge emails, okay. Anything yet? Good? Going too fast? Too slow? Rich? Yes and no. And I'll explain that in just a moment. We are located in the tower building next door on the second floor. Basically, once you get off the elevators, depending on which way you go, there are signs that says Cashier Financial Aid. Just follow the yellow brick road and you'll find us. And as Rich had said, what's happening now is the Maricopa, the district as a whole, is putting together what they call a seamless student experience, whereas all the community college, all the colleges are trying to basically, they're trying to focus as a one Maricopa. So with that, our enrollment cancellation that we do on a weekly basis, all the other campuses actually right now do daily. Come spring, Rio Salado also will become a daily enrollment cancellation. So what that means is for those that do registration for additional students, you want to make sure the advisement office, registration, all those that help the students get registered, remind them that if you don't pay the day the tuition is due, basically they'll get dropped that night. Regular scheduled classes, which would be like a 16-week class that's in room basically, which is not too many here. You're going to get 35 days due prior to the start of class date. All online classes and open entry classes are 10 days prior to start that class date. Registration fee will be due the first day of the actual registration for that term. Does that answer basically what you're looking for?
I think one of the issues is they were being dropped midway through courses with no penalties for that. It's like it never happened.
Correct. After what we call the drop add date, basically if they're in the class, they're not getting dropped. And so the student then becomes responsible for the tuition, and they will also be responsible for the grade. So they will no longer be able to say, oh, I'm just going to get a withdrawn and get a W. They will actually get a failing grade. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances, which admissions and records will have to make that call. But yes, basically if they don't pay by the due date and it's within the drop period, they will get dropped, no charge. After that, they don't get dropped, they will get no refund. Good? All right. So that's what's happening in the Cashiers. And again, like I said, it's summer. I think it actually might be spring. Where are we at? We're in fall. Spring, yes. So next summer, it will be effective for us. Spring is effective for all the other campuses. So coming in January, all the other campuses are already on board with this one enrollment cancellation date drop all the For us, it won't be till summer because we are so different and so special. Our astonishing stories go on and on in both ways. Some are not so good, but for the most part, they are good. And one of the ones that I think stood out for us most recently was we actually had the Human Resources Manager at MCC. Like I said, we do all the tuition waivers for all faculty and staff, and we verify and process and post them to their accounts. Basically, she said that we always go above and beyond. She's used the tuition waivers at all the other campuses, and she's never had an experience like she has had with Rio. We follow up with an email, we'll make a phone call, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that they don't get dropped, that we get the tuition waiver, is everything processed right, your payment got missed, rather than all the other campuses, what she says is they put it in a file and it sits there until they figure out it's time to look at it. So basically, that was the big astonishing story most recently for us that really stood out. And to have it coming from an HR manager was even the icing on the cake, if you will. And I think that's it for cashiering. Questions? Anything else? And like I said, we're on the second floor in the tower building. If you do have any questions, you're more than welcome to call. Stop by and see us. We'll be happy and more than happy to help you with anything.
As soon as are going to get dropped or not paid, when you send out the email, does that go just to their Maricopa account or is it any account?
I believe it's just the Maricopa account that's the official student communication. But also phone calls go out twice a week, not on purge date, which is Wednesday, but on Tuesdays and Fridays, email or phone calls go out to all those who are potentially going to get dropped to say, please call Cashiers, your tuition hasn't been paid, to make arrangements. So they not only do they get the emails, but they also get a phone call.
That would also be for the number that's on file in SIS.
In SIS. So basically the record in SIS is the key to make sure that they're current, updated, and that goes to the address as well. So we have the financial aid and all student refunds that are cash or check are processed through Citibank. Citibank sends, if they don't set up a recommended refund preference, which is either they could do direct deposit, they have a prepaid Visa card, or they can opt out with a check. The address that's on the system is where that money is going to go. So that's another important big key for students to make sure everything is current and updated. Because if their money goes somewhere else, those are the ones that are coming back saying, I never got my money. Well, it was sent to you on such and such date. Well, that's the wrong address. Well, need to correct it. And so with that, they can actually update Citi, their address with Citi, and with Maricopa or Rio. If they don't do it at the same time, those are not in sync. So they really need to make sure that they're both updated at the same time, so that way it goes to the right place. Anything else? Oh, okay, we're good. Thank you.